Hello and welcome to this video playing mangalyurek. Okay, let's go for knight f3 and we'll play c4. Okay, and d4. So this could be kind of King's Indian. I'm gonna go for g3 here. Don't usually play this system. Okay, so d5, quick d5 from black. So we'll go for castles here, and once we've castled, I don't mind so much taking on c5, but for black maybe knight a6. Okay, knight c6. So d5 is an obvious move here. D5, knight d4 doesn't look good. Knight d5, knight b4. Yeah, so I think we kind of will go for this tempo. The black can't go knight e7, which is what you would typically do in this kind of King's Indian setup. So that's one issue. I mean, I guess knight d4 loses a pawn after knight takes. So knight comes back. Okay, so then this is really an invitation to just push on with e4, isn't it? And if we can play e4, e5 here, then we're in good shape. So as black, how do we stop that? Bishop g4 does the job nicely because d takes e. So can we not maybe just kick this knight here? I think we should kick this bishop rather, because we're forcing him to give up the bishop for the knight. So what's the best recapture here? Bishop takes. I think queen takes looks a little better here. Then we don't have to worry about the h pawn if we're playing bishop takes. Okay, so knight d7 quickly played. Bishop is on c3, but that's covered. Knight e5 is possible. So one idea is to play queen e2 and then meet knight e5 with f4. I think I'm going to try that. And we'll go from there. We're managing to keep pace with black's clock here, so that's good. Okay, so a6. That's to keep this knight out of b5. So black may be planning e5. So we could think about bishop g5 here, actually. I quite like that idea, just to maybe provoke some weakness around black's king. Stop c5. Knight e5 is still possible, but then we have this f4 idea. So I don't mind. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy with that actually. I mean, even bishop f4 here, but bishop f4 stops us playing our idea with f4. So I think bishop's better on d2, and then we can have the choice of recapturing the knight. Although this is not an issue now, because okay, so this has happened. So why? I would really like to play f4. That looks like the most ambitious move. So that's what we're going to go ahead and play. Kick that knight out, and then if we can get in e5, then I think life should be good. So where does the black go back to? f7. Okay, so this knight at the moment doesn't have too many squares. Obviously, in the long term, we want to try and push for e5. At the moment, we can't get that in. So the other idea is maybe breaking with b4. That could be good as well. Maybe rook here. I'm going to play rook b1. It's a fairly useful move anyway because we don't want our rook on the long diagonal. So the knight comes here, but at the moment no future. Now b4 takes helps black, but if... yeah, I'm going to play that, but I'm not going to necessarily take here. I think I'm going to push on with b5. Okay, so it may be that black just closes everything up here. So if a5, we get a closed queen side, and then we can maybe push for e5, although it's hard to get. So we need to play rook takes here, otherwise the a pawn drops. So I'm not sure about this. I feel like white is better here, mostly because I think black doesn't have much space, and it's hard to It's hard to find any breaks. Okay, so rook here. And I think doubling here. F5 is an issue, but we can answer it with rook b3. I think if F5, just rook b3. Okay, so let's continue with rook b3 anyway. And we can actually think about bishop c1 here. So what about bishop c1? Bishop c1 to force the exchange. That looks good to me. So rook takes b3. What do we want to capture back, with the pawn or the rook? If we take with the pawn and rook here, then queen b2. Possibly queen a7 after that. But I think we might be to play something like knight a4 to just keep that queen out. If queen a7, maybe knight a4. Okay, so this is my idea. But now queen a7. But then maybe now knight here. Ooh, what about this f6 move now? No, that's not going to work immediately because the rook's on prise. So something possibly like knight a4, then f6. Okay, the rook comes back. So I like this idea. Now if knight a4, f6 is working, so that's an issue for me. But I'm going to play it anyway and then just be aware and just move the queen here. I mean, the only issue is my rook actually. Is it possible to win the rook? Knight here. It's not that easy. It's not that straightforward. So we need to find a quick queen move. Yeah, okay, so queen c2 to get off the diagonal. And we're going to meet f takes with bishop takes. Okay, there's a check there. King h1. Maybe king h2 is a bit better actually. I'm going to play bishop b2 to challenge the bishop. Okay, so bishop takes. Now bishop takes g6 is possible. Can we play this now? Bishop takes, check. Yeah, let's go for this now. We're running out of time, so let's just go for this now. I'm not convinced if this is working or not, but it's certainly possible. F5 is an idea. H4, H5. How does white break through here? So F5 first, and then we have bishop H6. It's hard for black to get out of this. These pieces are sort of locked up a little bit, so I'm not sure that we don't have the compensation we need here. The other option is something like just g4, g5 here. Maybe g4, g5 is the best idea actually. What's the answer for that? Because g4, g5, yeah, okay. Okay, so you're covering that twice. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good actually. F6. Bishop f4. Well, let's try bishop f4 first. And then something like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is not quite right. Knight takes and then bishop queen here. I can't really move my knight, otherwise the rook invades. Okay. Knight here, trapping the rook. Okay, that looks good. So what to do? Nothing we can really do about that. Yeah, I think this is not enough. Okay, we're hitting the queen. Okay, this is not right, I don't think. Yeah, I think white loses on time, whatever else happens. I'm going to pre-move that move. Maybe white's going to win on time. Yeah. Oh, okay. So interesting. I mean, I think obviously white doesn't have enough in the final position. I'm not threatening anything that terrible, so I think just any king move is fine here. Interesting position. We'll just pause and then reflect. So just some thoughts about the game. The position I've got is the position after white's just played f4 and the knight's had to retreat. I think white's probably quite a bit better here. Because he has a lot of space, no real weaknesses, and real chances to expand. I'm not sure I then went about it the right way with this rook b1 idea, but I don't think it's bad per se. In terms of critical moment for the game, it's probably in this position here where I think white is okay. I think this rook looks a bit silly on b5. So, this may not be quite right. But, I mean, I went for this sacrifice on g6, and I think looking at it now, it looks like it oughtn't to work, because I just don't think white's got enough pieces in the attack. We're really going to be left with just the queen and the bishop, because both of our other pieces are kind of stuck over on the queen side. And black's actually reasonably well defended, so I don't think this sack works. But that said, I do think white's doing fine here. If we just play a normal move, something like bishop d3, I don't see why we should be significantly worse. So I'm not sure I think maybe this queenside plan and having the rook stuck on b5 is not right. But other than that, I was fairly happy with my play. A bit lucky to win in the end, but that splits chess. Okay, thanks very much for watching.